Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's a privilege and honor to be here today to and have this opportunity to address distinguished members of the corporate arena and to be able to share with you the tools to better your performance not only at work but also in your personal lives and create the kind of results that you desire out of your teams. It's been a while since I've spoken to such a large gathering of people, and I can't tell you the kind of the rush that I feel when I walk into this room today. And I've always wanted to know, why do we do what we do? You know, when I came in today, I had this nervous rush and I had the butterflies in the stomach, yes. And I've done this so many times before. I've spoken to much larger groups so many times in the past. So I've tried to figure this out. You know, is it good that the nerves are all over the place when you walk in every time you speak, or is it detrimental to what you're out there to do? And I have an answer for you. The answer is both. It depends on what you do with this nervous energy. It depends on what you create out of this rush that you feel when you walk up. Now, if I was to link this experience, or if I was to juxtapose this experience to something that you do on a daily basis, you know, when you're about to make multi-million-dollar deals, you CEOs and presidents out here, I'm sure you have that feeling that I'm referring to. And no matter how many times you do it, you're still going to feel that way. So I want to know, why do we do what we do? You know, what's driving us? What is it that tips us over the edge and we say, yes, I'm going to do this way? I believe that the invisible force of internal drive is the most important thing in the world. You know, emotion is the force of life. With our minds, we can rationalize anything, but when emotion comes into it, the wiring in your head changes. You know, what makes the difference in the quality of people's lives? What is it that shapes us? There are two master lessons in life: the science of achievement and the art of fulfillment. Science is easy. You know, you follow the rules, you get the result, you're up the ante, and there you go. You have what you want. But fulfillment is about appreciation and contribution, and you can only do so much by yourself. You know, resources are not the defining factor in life. Decision is the ultimate power. You know, once you make a decision, you will find a way to meet the requirement, to fulfill whatever you need to do. And there's three decisions that I want you to make today before you leave this room. What I want you to decide is, what is it that I'm going to focus on? Am I going to focus on feeling, on the past, the present, the future, on yourself, or on others? So where are you going to focus? Very important question. What does this focus mean to you? Is it the end, or is it a beginning? Is it a punishment, or is it a reward? Now, you know, very often when your boss gives you, I mean, most of you are bosses here, but, you know, when the super boss gives you a task and says it needs to be done, or you need to delegate responsibility to somebody else, how is that delegation, or how is that improvisation taken as? Do you take it as a punishment? Oh God, I need to do this today? If you do, then that's exactly how your results are going to be, because that's what you're focusing on. You're always telling yourself, you know, this is not what I want to do, this is not what I want to do, this is not what I want to do. So you end up not doing it. Or you look at it as a reward. You know, if I do this, I will do X, Y, Z after that. So pretty much what you focus on gives you a direction, and the direction takes you to your target. So what is it that you're going to do from today onwards, from this moment onwards? Are you going to give up what you're doing, or are you going to restructure what you're doing? Okay? I have sent out emailers to all of you before this session happened, which was a survey form. I need to ask you a few basic questions to understand, what is it that you do? How is it that you decide to do what you're going to do for the day? I've taken the data from all the email forms that I got back, and I put it into a software application, okay, which kind of it puts the data together and gives me a consolidated report, and the results were quite astounding. 85% of people in this room, industry leaders, CEOs, vice presidents, CEOs of companies, have answered in the affirmative when asked this question: do you shrug responsibility? Yeah, that was what the figure is. 85% of people here agree that they shrug responsibility. So half my job is done when that happens. Okay? But the critical second half needs to be executed. When we know that we're doing something repeatedly in a certain way that influences the outcomes of what we do. Awareness is fantastic. I'm very glad that half my work is done and I don't need to create awareness amongst you as to the fact that we actually delegate and pass off responsibility to others with stuff that we're supposed to look at ourselves. So that work is done. However, at the same point in time, I would want everyone to take a minute and think. We know what we're doing is wrong, yet we continue doing it. Okay, the goal sheets that we passed around in the first half of the session had a SWOT analysis for everyone. And I know, and there's enough reason why you would be extremely proud of who you are. And I've seen through your intake forms that all of us believe that we can actually make a difference to our organizations. Okay, and there's enough truth in that. I mean, the reason why you are leaders of your companies and of your departments is because you have the ability to do that. Ability is not what I'm questioning. What I'm questioning is, do we do enough with that ability? What are the roadblocks that we face? And the part of the session is to find out how is it that we can address those roadblocks, to overcome them. Okay? So how do we do that? How do we find out methods and techniques to overcome those roadblocks? That is exactly the reason why I had these 4 groups divided. The first thing that I want everyone to do is, push back your chairs, stand up. Okay, pull everything down. If you have a cell phone in your hand, a pen or a notepad, drop everything. Keep it where you're sitting, and push your chairs back. I need space, and I need you guys to stand up. And can we have the music started? Yes. Well, there will be a lot of that as well. Let's begin with the preliminary activity that I described, and we'll gradually get onto that. Okay? So I need everyone here to be a 5-year-old. My niece, who's 4 years old, is probably the most spontaneous person I've come across in the last 3 years. Why? Because she's 5. When I go and meet her friends, I see everyone's spontaneous. As kids, we're all spontaneous. We're all participating. We don't have inhibitions. As we grow up, the inhibitions come in. So what I want you to do is be a 5-year-old, not just in the head, in the body. Feel like a 5-year-old. If you think the guy standing next to you is staring at the way you're dancing, give a tight whack. That's what a 5-year-old would do. Yes. Well, a little more gentle. And yes, we'll drop these within this room before we go out. Okay? So let's begin, and let's see how this shapes up. All right? Give yourselves a big hand, everyone.